Hi there, I'm Aleif or Nandini. A little while back, I received a couple of comments from this really lovely YouTuber on a couple of my videos asking about how I've managed to cope and survive some of my very badly depressing episodes. I would say at the beginning of 2022, near March, I went through a huge series of lows. When I say lows, I mean I just thought I hit rock bottom after rock bottom after rock bottom. I was just sort of journaling and thinking about how to respond to this person, and I came up with a list of, I think, around 10 things I started doing in the past and I have been doing for a long time, which have really helped me survive today. Survive the dips, the plunges into great suffering, the abyss, the hopelessness. I spent a lot of time thinking about how to talk about the subject, how to be objective about it. Everyone's circumstances are different. Some people have certain privileges, others don't. But then I realized that's impossible. I can only just talk about myself. So these are the things that I've currently thought of that have actually genuinely benefited me and have been benefiting me for a long time, especially this year. So let's get straight into my list, and I would love nothing more than for you to comment down below what has helped you and maybe what you want to work on, which you think will help you survive your depressive episodes, or at least not feel a complete sense of hopelessness. It's anything, I suppose, to really empower yourself or make it feel okay or better. Long intro, sorry about that. So the first thing I came up with is that I saved money. I worked through my depression earlier when I was able to, and I just saved money. I did not spend it. I got rid of my spending habits. So saved money, that was a huge benefit. Have an emergency fund, have more than an emergency fund, have double an emergency fund, if not much more. It will help to have that cushion of money when you're not able to work, or if you feel stuck at work, whatever. Okay, number 2. I've been very open about my poor mental health, and I think I have been so ever since I was pretty young. As a teenager, I never thought it was anything that was shameful because it was just the dominant part of my life and my mind. This didn't mean that I went about moping to everybody about different things, but people who knew me, I would talk to about this. Or at least, I made it very clear that I was unhappy being alive. And I think that was a very good thing. At least it wasn't a secret, and it wasn't something I felt like I had to work too hard to hide. Okay, so number 3, I made good friends I can emotionally open up to and rely on varying levels and extents, okay? So I think my greatest power in life, my greatest wealth is my friends. I have amazing friends from all walks of life, more or less, but mostly women that I've connected to at a very good level. And these are some powerful, amazing women, and they're powerful and amazing and strong because they've gone through so much as well. And I feel okay and comfortable, to actually talk to them and rely on them when I feel hopeless. But I also feel grateful to myself for having made these friends, and also for having always talked openly about my mental health. That really feels nourishing to me. Okay, so number 4, I've kept a record of my dips and peaks to know that emotions are a continual flow. And this doesn't mean I had a tracker that said, okay, how do I feel today? From a scale of 1 out of 10, I think that's too clinical for me. What that simply means is I filled up diaries. Anytime I feel an emotion, I have a need to express, I like to put pen on paper. That's what I do. And then flipping back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so depressed then, I was so depressed then, I was so depressed. No, I had a good day. Oh wow, I had an amazing day. It's good to track the flow. Sometimes when I have a couple of good days, I'm like, whoa, this is great. I'm not depressed anymore. And then bam, I'm depressed again. or at least like I'm just depressed, I'm having worse days than the good ones, whatever the language is, the correct language. It's good, it's good to keep track of it and try to be equanimous. Try. Okay, so the next one I've written down is that I've tried my best to, and I've had a genuine interest in and a passion for understanding my own past, my own traumas, and the history causing my poor mental health, with the desire to improve it. And the last part is the most important part, because I feel like a lot of people that I've come across, maybe not a lot, half the people, a number of people who've been through a lot in their life, when they go out there and do the research and everything and get their diagnoses, they sort of use that as a way to say to the world, look, this is me, I'm vulnerable, so treat me gently. I think alongside that, it helps that what I've done is, whoa, I know how gentle I am. These are the reasons why. Let me try to change, let me try to heal, let me try to get stronger where I can. And also still be gentle, still treat the wound as a wound. So I think that's been very important to me. That's the reason why I think I don't overtly complain too much to everyone about things, or I take responsibility, for the fact that I'm an adult now and it's up to me to fix things. Nobody else can do that. And the fact that I'm suffering still is because obviously I learned patterns which aren't fitting my lifestyle, my mind, and my current stresses anymore. But it's up to me to change that. So, to actually have the desire to learn more about why you're unhappy, as well, alongside the desire to change the unhappiness. I think these two things go really well hand in hand for me. Yes, okay. So the next one is, I've never tried to, because I have known that I cannot keep up with the ordinary or conventional pace and progress of life. And what I think I've meant by that, by the way, I wrote this like 2 weeks ago. So I'm kind of like reviewing it as I'm speaking to you about it. There are so many stages of life that, I think I've wrote it here. Yes, I've skipped some steps and I've done things out of order. I've realized that I will never do some in the future, or never get to do or redo things which ought to have happened at a time that has passed. So, I think most people, they know the path that is supposed to be followed. You are born, have a childhood, go to school for 20 years or something, and then probably do some higher education, get employed, get a spouse, have kids, buy a house, get a car, that sort of thing. So that's like the external societal one, and then there are like internal stages of development, like the Maslow's hierarchy and all that. So I know that, I haven't done things in order, some things I haven't done at all, other things I could do in the past, some things I will never be able to do right or do again or redo, so I think I've been very okay with that. I've never had a sense of urgency or envy. Not really, not at all. Like sometimes back when I used to work in radio, I had these peers around me, and I've seen how much they've progressed, and how they've become these amazing presenters, producers, and I sometimes think that, oh my gosh, like that could not just have been me, but I could be at that level too, and it doesn't create any sense of like urgency or envy or desperation or regret. I think like regret or bitterness, because I know that the flow of my life is such that I'm doing what I need to do. I think I know that. And I'm also, what I've done wrong, I did because I thought that was the only way I could survive. Now that I know better, it's time for me to improve and do better. Okay, this is much longer than I anticipated. I'm sorry about that. Oh, this one is so powerful. This was so powerful for me. But unfortunately, I thought this was the one step that would solve everything. Not at all. not at all, but it is a powerful step. I got away from and out of the main outer or environmental cause of my suffering, even though it was comfortable, safe, and home. Suffering has been home for a very, very long time. And I thought, to get away from the abuse, to get into a different environment, would solve all the problems, would completely destroy the main causes of suffering in my life. But no, it's important, but I think that's where the inner journey really truly begins, and the analysis and all that. It can't happen. I don't think it can happen very effectively if one is still facing the thing that's made them small and unhappy. I really don't think it's very easy to do that, effectively, without regressing constantly and then feeling guilty about regressing and blah, 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 blah. So I think like getting away from the abuse or the harsh environment or whatever is not right, that's when you can have the space and the time to move forward. Okay, so number 9. Yes, oh my goodness. This is what has kept me going. I love this one. Okay. I remember the idea of paying it forward, because that's the only way I can digest the idea of being helped or asking for help when I can't believe that I'm truly loved or cared for. I think to a large extent, I don't really think I'm worthy of attention, affection, care, anything really. I'm trying to break that, and I'm making amazing progress, and other individuals help me big time. But yeah, like when one is helpless, I remember when I was much younger, like just a teenager, I had this teacher who really, really helped me so much. And I just remember thinking, like, what can I do to pay them back? I'm not worthy of this, they're being so helpful. And then I just saw that they were not just like this towards me, they were nice to so many other people who were in difficult situations. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to become this person later. If I survive this moment, I want to become this and try to help in the future. And I still hold on to that because it was very difficult for me to ask for help for a huge time in my life. But these days it's become much easier for me to ask for help and inconvenience others, and these others are people who genuinely love me by asking for something from them, like their time, their expertise, their contacts, whatever it is. But I know that I can pay it forward. I also know that I have some power now to help, and I do help wherever I can, wherever I feel like I ought to help, I help, and that's as much as I should do in this moment in time, I feel. So paying it forward is a great thing, especially when one is like needing to receive, and often, well, at least I know often, that the people I'm receiving from are so like high above me in so many ways that I don't know what I could do to pay it back. Paying it forward, humanity's connected, we're all connected. If one is happy, one can share that happiness with others. If one is unhappy, just receive for now, better, and then share wherever it feels natural. I think that's so important. And then the final one is, this is a lot more like practical and easy and I think fun to do. And that is, I've figured out a few things which can bring me, number 1, immediate happiness, number 2, gradual happiness, or 3, long-term relief from feeling absolutely and utterly miserable. Immediate would be like ordering my favorite food. Gradual would be something like making sure I take care of my hygiene over and over, and like that creates a sense of like confidence, And then long term would be like, do my taxes so it doesn't stress me out long term, or, like study Buddhism, which is powerful for me to know how to move forward and progress correctly. That doesn't even exist. You can't progress correctly, but like have better wisdom, I suppose, or all those things. Anyway, like long term, Another example of that would be like, you know, to maintain certain relationships. I know it would be nice to, you know, have these people in my life long term, especially with family. It's harder with family because I don't often want to talk to them, but I know that, you know, it's important to do that. Anyway, that's my list. Sorry for the... Oh my gosh. Okay, this video is very, very long. Ugh. Oh well, that's me, right? Don't feel guilty, Nandini. Don't feel guilty, Aleif. So, thank you very much for watching. I'm sending you lots of love. I'd love to read your comments below. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be wisely kind to wisely kind to yourself. And I'm definitely doing the same. I have full faith that I'm doing the right thing in this moment in my life, you know? And it feels so good to know that, to say that, and to live that, you know? So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!